What's up, friends? On today's video, we've got 52 cars to send down the track. Most of these from 2024, a few of them from 2023, and it just wouldn't be me if I didn't send some that were completely off the reservation. Let's get busy. We've got a lot of racing ahead of us. This is going to be a full bracket and then some. Most of these cars you've probably seen before, maybe a few that you haven't. All of them have been to Speed Shop and are ready to go. I've got two open spots over here and over here in the bracket. I've kind of weeded out the fast from the slow. The slower ones are down here on the deck. We're going to run them off first, and the two fastest cars you see down here will occupy the two open spots on the bracket. Run two at a time, heads up, down this quarter-mile drag strip. If I see greater than a car length beat, it'll be a one and done, which will help us out on time a little bit because it's going to take a little while to chew through all these guys. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the race. Rather than do an extended intro on this, I'm just going to go ahead and show you the cars before I rack them. This is the Volkswagen Jetta from the Fast and Furious. Does have a metal body with a plastic base. Weighs in at 38.5 grams. He'll be going up against the 2013 Viper from the 2024 Stars and Stripes series. Does have the newer PR5 wheels, metal body with a plastic base. He weighs in at a paltry 32.5 grams. Viper in lane 1, Volkswagen lane 2.
God dang it.
Here we go. 23-23 to a 23-22. VW must have got him at the very last second. Lane swappage, 23-22 is the mark. 23-16 to a 23-32. And with that, the Viper will be moving on. Next up, the 2024 Shelby GT500 from the 2024 Stars and Stripes series. He is metal body with plastic base, has the new PR5s weighing in at 37.6 grams. And he'll be going up against the exact same casting. This is the Gran Turismo series, and it's metal body with plastic base. Does have the same new PR5 wheels. He weighs in at 37.2 grams. He'll be going lane number 1. Pretty tight race. 23.05 to a 23.08. Danger swap, 23.05 is the mark. And he is faster, 23.02 to a 23.19. And the Gran Turismo Mustang is moving on to the next round. Next up, the 1970 Ford Escort from the 2024 Spring Series. He is metal body, plastic base. He does have the new dish style wheels, and he weighs in at 36.4 grams. And he'll be going up against the BMW 2002 from the Vintage Racer series from 2024. This guy weighing in at 38.8 grams, metal body, plastic base, and he does have the new Fuchs style wheel. He'll be going in lane number 1. The Beamer, 23.13 to a 23.18. Danger swap, 23.13 is the mark. 23.05 to a 23.09. And the BMW moves on to the next round. Next up from the 2024 Ultra Hot Series, this is the 66 Pontiac GTO. He is metal on metal. Of course, it does have the throwback Ultra Hot wheels on it, and I will give you forewarning on this guy. One of the wheels on this dude is absolutely freaking terrible. Don't expect much out of him. And he'll be going up against the Color Changers 57 Chevy. This one does have the 5-spoke wheels, plastic body with the metal base, and he weighs 37.3 grams. He'll be going in lane number 1. See how bad this GTO sucks. 23.08 to a 23.48. Yeah, not very good. I think that was some gappage. That's going to be a one and done. And with that, the 57 Chevy moves on to the next round. Next up, we've got the 1985 Honda CRX, this one from the new Japan series. Metal on metal. Unfortunately, this midsection in gray is made up of plastic. He weighs 37.1 grams. These wheels I'm not a fan of. I think they're called the +4s. I call them the trap 2s. We'll just have to see how he does. He's going in lane 2. And he's going up against the 01 Custom Integra, this one from the new Neon series. He's a very lightweight car, 32.1 grams, metal body with a chrome plastic base, and it does have the Neon Speeders wheels. Yeah, you'll see. $23.45 to a $23.53. Neither one of those are setting any kind of tracks on fire. But we'll swap them. $23.45 is the mark. $23.29 to a $23.33. So the Honda picking up a little bit of speed on the second run. That's going to send them on to the next round. A couple more 2024 Neon Speeders. This is the Datsun 510 wagon, metal on plastic with the Neon Speeders wheels. And he weighs in at 34.6 grams. And he'll be going up against another 2024 Neon Speeders. This one, the Nissan Skyline 2000 GTR. He weighs in at 37.7 grams, metal body with a plastic base. And he'll be going in lane 1. Pretty tight race. 23.36 to a 23.37. Lane swappage. 23.36 is the time to beat. Woke up a little bit. 23.27 to a 23.41. Skyline dispatches the Datsun. He's moving on to the next round. Next up, the 2013 Copo Camaro. This one from the Stars and Stripes series. Failed to mention on most of these semi-premium type models, they're at least doing the taillights and the headlights. I believe on all the ones we've run so far, with the exception of the Escort, have that feature. Looking pretty good. He weighs 34.1 grams, metal body, plastic base with the new PR5 wheels. He'll be going up against the Neon Speeders Honda S2000. Metal body with a plastic base, but like I said before, full features front and rear as far as tampos go. It does have the Neon Speeders wheels. And the Honda weighing in at 32.9 grams, going into lane 1. $23.28 to a $23.46. Lane swappage. $23.28 is the mark. Camaro getting out. $23.17 to a $23.44. And the Camaro putting the Honda to bed early. Next up, another 2024 Neon Speeders. This one is the 95 Mazda RX-7 Drift. Metal body with plastic base, of course, with the Neon Speeders wheels. Weighing in at 33.6 grams. And he'll be going up against the Acura NSX, this one from the new Japan series. Yep, full details. Metal body, plastic base. This one with the Trap 2 wheels. He weighs in at 34.8 grams and is going into lane number 1. $23.42 to a $23.60. Ninja swap. $23.42 is the mark. A little better race that time. $23.48 to a $23.49. And the faster first pass is going to send the Mazda to the next round. And the last 2024 Neon Speeders to grace this track is the 95 Mitsubishi Eclipse. Metal body, plastic base. Again, full details. Looking pretty good with the Neon Speeders wheels in pink. Weighing in at 36.7 grams. And he'll be going up against the SpongeBob SquarePants Second Wind. Yeah, metal body, metal base. Those are the new PR5 wheels as well. Got tampos all the way around. And he weighs in at 48.73 grams. And he'll be in lane 1. Pretty big weight difference between these two. Wow, 22.76 to a 23.34. One and done victory on that one. SpongeBob with a pretty fast run. Looks like he might be occupying one of the 2 spots in the bracket. Next up, the 2020 Dodge Charger. This is the wide body version from one of the Fast and Furious sets, I believe from 2023. Really do like this casting. I'm not much of a Charger fan, but I do like the wide casting that they make. And yeah, the gloss black looks pretty good too. Metal body with a plastic base. Looks like he's got J5 wheels on him. Weighing in at 36.7 grams. And he'll be going up against the Futurismo 2024 Color Changers set. And this one's kind of interesting. Most of your color changers are plastic-bodied cars with a metal base. This one is metal body with a plastic base. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So I decided to go ahead and pick him up. It does have the Ryu 6-spoke wheels on him. Again, plastic base on this guy. And he weighs in at 31.9 grams. And he's going in lane number 1. Remember, all the color changer wheels have chrome axles, or nickel axles, I should say. 2302 to a 2305. Danger swap 2302 is the mark. 2299 to a 2301. So the Charger steals the win in lane number 1. He's moving on. Next up is straight pipes from the new SpongeBob SquarePants set. What does he say on the back? Out of my way. Yeah, we'll see about all that. Metal body with a metal base. So this guy, not the biggest body in the whole wide world. Let's find out what he weighs. 37.2 grams. Yeah, unfortunately, he just doesn't have a lot of mass. Does have the new PR5 wheels on him, though, and he'll be going in lane number 2. And he'll be going up against the car everybody loves to hate, the Pontiac Aztek. I'm going to say I kind of dig it. They went extra wide with this casting, which is pretty cool. I do like the Y5 wheels that they put on them. It doesn't look terrible. It doesn't look like the production model by a Farsight either. Metallic blue paint, plastic base, weighing in at 32 grams on the nose, and he is going to go into lane 1. Aztek with the pass on the flat, 2306 to a 2314. Laser swap 2306 is the mark, and leave a comment down below. Tell me if you like the new Aztek. He wins them both, 2305 to a 2312. So the Aztek moves on to the next round. Moving along to round 2 of the prelims, we've got the Viper in lane 1 and the Mustang in lane 2. Now the Mustang. 2298 to a 2322. I don't think that was quite a car length beat. So we'll swap and see if the Viper can do any better. No. 2304 to a 2311. So the Mustang sends the Viper packing. Next up, we got the BMW in lane 1 and the Escort in lane 2.
BMW 2315 to a 2320. Laser swap 2315 is time to beat. 2311 to a 2325. Escort is out. BMW continues on.
57 Chevy in lane 1 and the Honda CRX in lane 2. $23.13 to a $23.25. Laser swap CRX needs to beat a $23.13. He's not going to do it. $23.16 to a $23.26. And the 57 Chevy moves on. Next up, Nissan Skyline in lane 1 and the Camaro in lane 2. Pretty good race, but it's the Camaro, 23.20 to a 23.24. Lane swappers, let's see if the Skyline can beat a 23.20. No. 23.18 to a 23.29. Camaro takes them both. This will probably be ugly. We got the RX-7 Drift in lane 1 and the Second Wind in lane 2. Yep, ugly. 22.82 to a 23.39. That's a one and done. And SpongeBob advances. Next up, a couple wide bodies. Dodge Charger in lane 1 and the Aztec in lane 2. Pretty even race. Aztec edging him out by 1/1000ths. Laser swap. Will the Charger be embarrassed? Looks like he will be. 2303 to a 2305. So the little Aztec is moving on to the next round. Soldiering on, we've got the Mustang in lane 1 and the BMW in lane 2. That's a pretty close race. 2307 to a 2309. The Mustang gets it. Lane swappage, 2307 is the mark. Mustang gets him twice. 2297 to a 2308. And the Mustang advances one more time. And it's the Camaro in lane 1 and the 57 Chevy in lane 2 up next. Should be a pretty good race. 2313 to a 2319. Maybe not. Lane swappage, 2313 is the mark. 2309 to a 2314. And 57 Chevy moves on. Old SpongeBob will be in lane 1 and the Victim in lane 2. $22.95 to a 2301. That Aztec did a little better than I thought he was going to. But can he beat a 22.95? Lanes are swapped. 2281 to a 2297. I think he probably got a little bit of a draft action on that one. So I think it's safe to say that Second Wind will be making it onto the board. Which one of these two is going to get the other spot? Mustang lane 1, 57 Chevy in lane 2. Mustang 2301 to a 2311. Lane swappage, 2301 is the time to beat. 2295 to a 2308. So we're going to say the Mustang gets the second spot. You're probably wondering, right? Well, let's see. Mustang lane 1, Aztec lane 2. Why not? Huh, really? 2300 to a 2308. All right then. They just swapped. Mustang needs to pull his head out of his butt. He gets beat twice by the Aztec. How embarrassing. Mustang almost had a ticket to ride. Well, these two going into the bracket. There we go. A couple of, I guess that's a wagon on top. And Second Wind up against McLaren. Let's dive into this bracket. Moving into the bracket, we got the new TV series Batmobile from the 2024 Batman set. This one, purple colorway. You've got all the goodies, and you've got a metal base. Looks like it's got the new 5-spoke style wheels, and he weighs in at 49.1 grams. And he'll be going up against the R35 Nissan GTR, this one from the Gran Turismo series 2024. Metal body, nice details, metal base. This one, same style, 5-spoke wheels. He weighs in at 51 grams on the nose and is going to lane 1. All right, here we go. $2284 to a $2306. That wasn't quite a car length gap. We'll go ahead and re-rack them. Get our money's worth, right? These Batmobiles tend to swim just a little bit. $2284, time to beat, and he's not gonna do it. $2281 to a $2303. So the GTR, moving on to the next round. Next up is the mainline Baja Bison, this one from 2024. This guy's got a lot of plastic. The base is made out of metal. Everything above the base is plastic, and he weighs in at 41.8 grams. And he'll be going up against the front running Fairmont from the 2024 Ultra Hots mix. This guy has seen my track before, not this car. This casting has seen my track. This is a different one that I pulled just to see if I couldn't find something a little bit faster. Metal body, metal base, Ultra Hots wheels. Weighing in at 46.7 grams. He's going in lane 1. Baja Bison, 2285 to a 2296. And that will probably be the last Fairmont that I buy new on the pegs. 2285 is the mark. Oh, geez. How embarrassing. 2283 to whatever. So, Baja Bison, not doing too bad for a new mainline. Next up, we've got the 2020 Corvette from the Stars and Stripes series, 2024. Nice metallic red paint job. Good details front and rear. Does have the new PR5 style wheels, metal body, plastic base. Weighing in at 35.1 grams. And he'll be going up against the Batmobile out of the 2024 Batman series. This one is pretty interesting. Big body, wide wheel track, metal on top, metal on the bottom, and this one has the new PR5 style wheels as well. Chunky booger weighing in at 57.4 grams, and he is going in lane 1. And go. Nice time. 2268 to a 2300. That was a one and done victory. And with that, Batmobile moves on in round 2. Next up, we've got the Silverado EV RST mainline car. Guess this is going to be the electric truck. Details front and rear. Not a lot of BS going down the side. I like this one because it's got the Y5 wheels, same diameter front and rear. Nice square wheel track. Metal body with a plastic base. That right there, not metal. That's just more of the windshield glass going and comprising the top. He's pretty light, weighing in at 35.2 grams. And here's one of the oddballs I was telling you about. After the wake of the Pixar race, I've had a few more get delivered to the house. This one is, let's see his name, Costanzo della Corsa, modeled after that Maserati body that we saw. I think we had 3 of those in the last one. This is probably the last colorway of the Maseratis. He weighs in at 45.9 grams and is going into lane number 1. Good time, 2266 to a not bad 2281 for a new mainline. Let's go ahead and take it back up at the top. Doing my due diligence to find you guys some fast Pixar cars. 2266 is the mark with the lane swapped. 2268 to a 2279. Still not bad by the Silverado, but Costanzo della Corsa wins them both. He moves on to the next round. Next car in the blocks is going to be from the new Japan series from Hot Wheels. Good details all the way around on this Skyline GTX. Really good looking casting. I do collect this casting. Does have the new 5-spoke wheels, metal body, unfortunately, with a plastic base. And he weighs in at 41.7 grams. And he'll be up against the 1970 Chevy Nova, this one from the new Fast and Furious series. Again, a semi-premium. Details all the way around. Nice silver colorway with black racing stripes. And it appears he's got the new Fuchs style wheels, except you've only got the chrome going around the outside of it. Metal body, metal base, a little bit narrow, but he does weigh in at 51.9 grams. And he'll be in lane number 1. Heavier Nova taking care of business. 2279 to a 2294. Laser swap, 2279 is the mark. Nova gets them both. 282 to a 307. And that will send him off into round number 2. This next one was a tough one to find. The 2004 Mazda RX-8 from the Women of Fast series. I believe that was from 2023. The only ones I found on the pegs were the, what was it? The Corvette, and I can't remember the other one. Maybe it was the GT40 you're going to see next. But yeah, this one, like I said, tough to find, good tempo work. Kind of, I don't know, not my favorite paint job on that one. Does have the new style PR5 wheels. Metal on metal, and good news, weighs in at 59.3 grams. And he's going up against the Ford GT40. This is another one from the Women of Fast series. Nice paint job on this guy. Metal body with plastic base, got the new style PR5 wheels. This one only coming in at 37.3 grams, and he will be in lane number 1. Let's see it. 2267 to a 2315. Well, that is a one and done victory for the Mazda. And it will send him off to round number 2. Well, you remember this guy weighing in at 32 grams. He'll be in lane 2. And he'll be going up against a different Volvo 850 Estate that I picked up. I had one in the ranks and he got shuffled out. Hopefully this one has slightly better wheels. Metal on metal, good weight. It's got the new 5-spoke style wheel. And he weighs in at 48 grams on the nose. And he will be in lane number 1. Little Aztec kept up with him. 2289 to a 2299. Let's re-rack them. They just swapped with the 2289, the time to beat. It is the Volvo speeding up 2280 to a 2301. So the Volvo sends the Aztec to home with his tail between his legs. Another oddball for you. This is Richard Clayton Kensington from the Pixar Cars series. One of the 3 cars that came in after the Pixar race was said and done. This guy is pretty friggin' big.
Sometimes they say huge.
Hot Wheels track. He does fit and he doesn't pinch. So if he fits on that, he definitely fits on the seamless. What can you say? He's big. And he weighs in at 72 grams on the nose. Going up against the Lamborghini Veneno from the Speed Machine series from last year. Never put any of these cars on my track, so this is kind of an opportunity to get it done. Another one of the semi-premium, metal body, metal base, co-mold wheels. Yep. And he weighs in at 54.2 grams going into lane number 1. Yeah, pretty big dude over there. Can the Lamborghini get out in front of that bad air? Let's find out. Not really. 2260 to a 2276, 2 pretty good times. They just swap 2260 as the mark, and you'll probably lose the Lamborghini. Even better, 2254 to a 2273. So Richard Clayton showing some speed, moving on to round number 2. More 2024 Ultra Hots for you. This is the 80s Pontiac Firebird. Metal body, metal base. Thank you very much. In a nice Spectre Flame red with all the Ultra Hots tempos and the throwback Ultra Hots wheels. He's got some taillight decos as well. And he weighs in at 45.8 grams. He'll be going up against the Vintage Racing 55 Corvette and nice powder blue. Looks like he's got the Fuchs style wheels on him. Metal body, metal base. Nice detailing. Weighing in at 45.7 grams. And he's going in lane 1. Firebird, 2269 to a 2298. Let's re-rack him. I didn't see the beat on that one. Even though I don't think the Corvette is gonna beat a 2269 again, getting our money's worth, right? Yeah, 2277 to a 2294. Firebird wins them both. Going to round 2. Next up, we've got the 81 Toyota Starlet. This one from the Japan series. Got nice decos all the way around. Got the new 5-spoke wheels. Pretty small wheels on this guy. Overall, pretty small car. Metal body, but at least he does have a metal base. Only weighing in at 39.5 grams. He'll be going up against the 2020 Toyota GR Supra. This one from the Gran Turismo series, 2024. And he has, oh look, the Trap 2 wheels. Hooray. Metal body, and he's got a metal base, so that's pretty good. He weighs in at 46.7 grams, and he'll be going in lane 1. Pretty close race. It is the Supra, 2287 to a 2294. Lanes are swapped. 2287 is the time. Oh boy, that was a terrible run by the Supra. 2292 by the Starlet, not going to beat the first pass by the Supra. So the Supra sneaks it in there, and he goes on to the next round. Oddball number 3, Andrew Vrooman from the Pixar Cars series. Looks kind of like an El Camino, doesn't he? Well, he's a big car. He doesn't seem to pinch. Got a little wiggle room on the segmented track, which means he's got more room on the seamless. Yeah, pretty big casting. You'll see the difference here in just a second. And he's chubby, weighing in at 75.9 grams. And he'll be going up against the 1967 El Camino, this one from the Fast and Furious set. You've probably seen this one on the pegs with all the brown plastic wrapped around it, and it looks like complete dog crap.
Might seem crazy, but you're just gonna have to trust me. That's it. I did it. I'm a miracle worker.
All you got to do is pop it off, and look what you have underneath. A really good looking El Camino. Let's see, metal body with a plastic base. He's got the new 5-spoke style wheels. Weighing in at 41.8 grams. Going into lane 1. You're seeing the difference now, right? One thing I forgot to mention about the black El Camino, it does have inset wheels. Body rubs on the track just a little bit, still gets down the track pretty good, but $22.50 to a $23.15. One and done. Andrew Vrooman. Remember the name. Next up from the Vintage Racing Series 2024 is the Mercedes 300 SL. Very nice looking model. The new 5-spoke wheels. Relatively small casting. Metal on metal. Weighs in at 40.6 grams. And he'll be going up against the 1971 AMX Javelin. And this is the second one that I've purchased of this particular casting. The first one was a dog. Spectraflame blue, Ultra Hots, Tampo work, nice details, Ultra Hots throwback wheels, metal on metal, weighing in at 52.3 grams, and he'll be in lane 1. Gappage, 2283 to a 2320. Yeah, I'm glad that one doesn't suck. And he got himself one and done victory. Next car up is the Hot Wheels Porsche 911 GT3. This one from the Speed Machine series from 2023, of course. Metal on metal, does have the co-mold wheels. He'll be going in lane number 1. And going in lane 2 is going to be the Cadillac Project GTP Hypercar. This one a pretty wide casting. Does have square wheel track, same size wheels front and rear, the new lace style wheels on a pretty nice looking body. We're gonna see how he does. Not a bad race. 2274 to a 2290. Lane swappage, 2274 is the mark. Even better, 2269 to a 2289. 2 wins by the Porsche is going to send him on to round number 2. Kind of surprised because it does have a wider rear end than the front. Typically those tend to nose in on the track a little bit, but 2269 is not too shabby. Here we have the quick delivery from the SpongeBob SquarePants series from 2024. Yep, it's got all the SpongeBob stuff on it. You read that. Stay positive. Okay, metal body, metal base, and it does have wheel track, the same front and rear. It does have a little bit larger tires than in the front, but we'll see how he does. Going in lane number 2, another Datsun 510 wagon, this one from the Hot Wagon series. I had one of these before, wasn't very good. I'm hoping this guy right here does a little bit better on the quarter mile drag strip. Of course, this one metal on metal does have the new 5-spoke wheels, and it is looking very nice. He's going to be going in lane 1. Forgot to mention, quick delivery does not rub the track side, so that's a positive. Pretty good race and a pretty good time. 22:59 to a 22:69. Good times by both. Lane swappage 22:59, the time to beat. I did have the 70s van from the SpongeBob series. Look at that quick delivery getting it again. 22:61 to a 22:71. But Super Van had unattached axles front and rear. It would not roll down the track without the wheels fouling the body. But anyway, quick delivery, he moves on to round number 2. Here we go again with some more SpongeBob. Again, the second wind. He'll be going in lane 2. And going into lane 1 is the McLaren 720S, this one from last year's Speed Machines. I haven't rolled this particular casting down my track yet. Nice detailing all the way around, co-mold wheels. Does have the metal on metal chassis like all the rest of the Speed Machines do. Been quick at some other tracks. He's going in lane 1. Let's see how they do. It's a pretty good race. Wow. 2260 to a 2263. Both of these cars rolling extremely smooth. 2260 is the mark. 64 to a 65. So the McLaren with the 2260 first pass will send him to round number 2. And for the last 2 cars of round number 1, nothing special going on here. It's a mainline Jaguar I-Pace E-Trophy. I've cracked open, I don't know how many of these cars. Still looking for a fast one. This one is rolling pretty good. Of course, metal body, plastic base. Y5 wheels weighing in at 40 grams on the nose. And going up against the Jaguar is going to be the latest release of the mainline version of the Shelby Cobra Daytona Coupe. 5-spoke wheels on this guy, Gulf livery. Of course, this is just a mainline, so you're not going to get as many details as some of the other cars. Wheel track is square, which is nice. Bigger tires in the back than in the front. He weighs in at 36.8 grams. He'll be going in lane number 1. Pretty good race. 2276 to a 2282. Lane swappage 2276 is the time. Well, I think we may have found a fast I-Pace. 2267 to a 2282. So the Jaguar moves on to the next round. Round 1 of the books. Winners on the inside, losers on the outside. And for this next round, I think the times should be tightening up just a little bit. Round 2 is going to start us off with the GTR in lane number 1 and the Baja Bison in lane 2. And go. Oh, GTR. 2266 to 2288. Laser swap 2266 is the mark. GTR. 2268 to 2280. And the GTR advances. Next up, we got the Batmobile in lane 1 and Costanzo in lane number 2. Yep, Good race. 22:58 to a 22:66. Lane swappage 22:58 is the time. Good race. 22:60 to a 22:61. Batman takes them both. And he's going to advance to round number 3. Staged and ready. We got the Nova in lane 1 and the RX-8 in lane 2. Come on, Mazda. Pretty tight race. 22:64 to a 22:77. Lane swap. 22:64 is the mark. Oh boy, look at him go. 22:56 to a 22:75. And the Mazda ripped off a fast one. It's going to send him to round number 3. Next up, we got the Volvo in lane 1 and Richard Clayton in lane number 2. Let's see it. That's actually a pretty close race. 22:55 to a 22:64. You think he felt the draft on that one? We ready for a total eclipse of the Volvo? 22:55 is the time to beat. 22:51 to a 22:67. So this big fella right here, he is advancing on to the next round. Moving over to the right-hand side of the board, we got the Trans Am in lane 1 and the Supra in lane 2. Oh, Trans Am. 22:65 to a 22:87. That was right at a car length. Let's re-rack them. Pretty sure this is the fastest new Ultra Hots I've ever had down my track. 22:65 is the time. Supra. 22:74 to a 22:78. As I was saying, Supra likes lane 1 but does not like lane 2 for some reason. No matter, Trans Am wins them both and sends him to the next round. Staged and ready, we've got Andrew Vrooman in lane number 1 and the Javelin in lane number 2. 22:48 to a 22:70. Lanes are swapped. I don't think the Javy has enough to beat a 22:48. 22:47 to a 22:63. Andrew takes them both, barely fitting into the bracket, going to the next round. Next up in the blocks, it's the Porsche in lane 1 and the Quick Delivery in lane 2. Should be pretty close. 22:60 to a 22:66. Lanes are swapped. Porsche needs to beat a 22:60. He's not going to do it. Getting faster. 22:57 to a 22:67. Old SpongeBob representing in round number 3. And for the last race of round number 2, we got the McLaren in lane 1 and the Jaguar in lane 2. That was actually a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. 22:67 to a 22:69. McLaren passing the Jaguar on the flat. Even if the Jaguar doesn't get the win here, 22:69 might be enough to get him into the display. He's got to be at 22:67 to move on to the next round, though. Wow, he did it. 22:64 to a 22:68. Old mainline Jaguar. I think we finally found us a fast one. He beat him in the second race, and it moves him on to round number 3. Round 2 in the books. Winners on the inside, losers on the outside. Round 3 begins, and we continue to whittle them down. The GTR in lane 1 and the Batmobile in lane 2. Let's see it. 22:58 to a 22:63. Batmobile gets the first one. Lanes are swapped. GTR needs to beat a 22:58. He is not going to do it. Batman gets faster. 22:55 to a 22:67. Old Batman's finally got himself a hot rod. Does David have enough in him to beat the Goliath? We shall see the Mazda in lane 1 and Richard in lane 2. Come on, Mazda. Ooh. 2255s across the board, with the nod going to the Mazda by an unknown 10 thousandths. Good race. Laser swap, can we beat a 2255? $22.59 to a $22.58. Richard wins that one. But the Mazda taking the win by 10 thousandths in the first race with a 22.55. And that will put him into the semifinals. Looks like we got a tall order for the Trans Am in lane 1 because he's going up against that big El Camino in lane 2. Here we go. Oh, El Camino's out on him. 22.49 to a 22.66. Laser swapped. I don't think the TA's got a 22.49 in him, though. And faster. 22.47 to a 22.65. And the El Cam moving on to the semifinals. Last pair of this round, quick delivery in lane 1 and the Jaguar in lane 2. Big weight difference between the two. And it shows. 22.57 to a 22.66. Well, don't worry, this won't be the last we see of that Jaguar. He needs to be a 22.57 to go to the semis. It's not gonna happen. 22.59 to a 22.65. And old SpongeBob, soldiers on. And this is what our semifinal race is gonna look like. Semifinals begin with Batman in lane number 1 and the Mazda in lane number 2. On your marks, get set. It's a good race. Batman, 22.56 to a 22.57. Laser swap, Mazda needs to be at a 22.56 to go on to the final. To get it, he does not. 22.59 to a 22.62. So, the new Batmobile going on to the race final. And for the second semifinal race in the blocks, we've got Andrew Vrooman in lane 1 and the quick delivery in lane 2. And go. It's a pretty good race. 22.48 to a 22.58. Laser swap, does SpongeBob have a 22.48 in him? That's close. 22.51 to a 22.53. So the El Camino could be the other car going into the race final. But first, let's see who gets the last spot on the podium. Mazda in lane 1, quick delivery in lane 2. Good race. 22.52 to a 22.56. Lane swappage, 22.52 is the mark. Does he get it? 22.58 across the board. And the Mazda with the fastest first pass is going to put him third place overall in this bunch of cars. One thing to note, if you run curved track, this nose on this car sits extremely low. He has a little bit of trouble with the twisties. Race final, as per my normal rules, best 3 out of 5 takes the overall victory. Batman in lane 1, Andrew Vrooman in lane 2. Batman needs to light his afterburners. Pretty tight. 22.51 to a 22.54. The El Camino has got one. Lanes are swapped. 22.48 to a 22.59. Lanes are swapped back in their original positions. Let's see if Andrew can put a fork in it. And he does. 22.49 to a 22.53. Not taking anything away from the new Batmobile, this guy is pretty quick for something that you can go out and buy on the pegs. Well, possibly. Good enough to take second place overall in this race. And Pixar Cars, Andrew Vrooman, the big El Camino, taking the overall victory. And I think you know what that means. Gatekeeper race up in the blocks. I did give the Peugeot a couple of laps to warm up because he's going to have his hands full. He's outweighed and severely smaller than that El Camino. Here we go. 45 to a 49. Well, that little Peugeot can go. Let's see if Andrew Vrooman can rip off, well, the fastest pass of the night for him at least. 49 to a 51. And the Peugeot ripping off a pretty quick first lap. It's going to leave him safe on the bubble into the stack. Andrew Vrooman is going to live in the greater than 62 gram weight category. My speed descends like this. That's our Gatekeeper. We're going to go straight after number 1. We're going to see if Han Solo and Carbonite, currently my number 1 in that weight category, can fend off that big bastard. He can, 46 to a 50. They're swapped with 22:46, the time to beat. Man, you just can't do it. 22:47 to a 22:51. Han Solo is safe. Now let's move down one to the International Funny Car. Ford Probe Funny Car International Raceway Edition in lane 1. Oh, geez. Wow. Yeah. I think he's in the wrong place, maybe. Yeah. Well, that was odd. The 2 warm-up laps that I did for the funny car did not produce those kind of numbers. That's probably more like it. So International, I'm going to say, is pretty safe. Let's go with the drag bot, shall we? Drag bot in lane 1, El Camino, lane 2. Gee whiz. 22:36 to a 22:53. Lane 1 is definitely liking the funny cars. Which is weird because lane 1 is typically slower. 39 to a 47. Put him back. Well, let's keep on going down, shall we? Plymouth Arrow in lane 1, El Camino, lane 2. 44 to a 51. Ranger swap 22:44 is the mark. 44 to a 46. I think he had a 51 in the first one. So the Arrow funny car barely staying ahead, keeping his spot. So the Arrow, by the hair on his chinny chin chin, stays in his spot. Coca-Cola Polar Bears by Johnny Lightning up next. Studebaker in lane 1. 41 to a 49. He just continues to be outclassed here. Ranger swap 22:41 is the time. 45 to a 46. Studebaker stays where he's at. Let's test the Long Gone. Long Gone in lane 1, El Camino lane 2. Here we go. 22:49 to a 53. Ranger swap 22:49 is the mark. He gets him 51 to a 59. Good deal. All right, Long Gone. Let's go after the Trans Am funny car. Sorry, Firebird funny car. He's in lane 1. 48 to a 52. Ranger swap that the El Camino can beat at 22:48. He's found his home. Damn, still not doing it. Well, that only leaves us with one left. It's the 71 Mustang funny car. Mustang in lane 1. 44 to a 50. Ranger swap with 44 being the time to beat. Nope, 48 to a 49. Well, at least we know. So Mustang funny car is going to be right there. Andrew Vrooman, Pixar cars. Probably the fastest one I have in my display. Not a bad pickup. No pun intended. He's going to go right above Long Gone. Looks like the Coca-Cola Chevy van is going to be crapped out the other end. We're not quite done yet. 59.2 grams on this Mazda. He's going to be in the 51 to 62 gram weight class. I'm just going to go ahead and show you what the Gatekeeper run looks like. I know that's empty. I've got the green Mustang. He is stewing in the speed shop right now. So let's go after the Show Hoss Mustang. Will the Mazda make rank? Doesn't look like it. 22.55 to a 22.61. Man, I was hoping he'd make it. 22.55 is what he's got to get. Oh, man. 1,000ths. Let's run it one more time. Come on. 22.55. Let's see if he can do it. He ain't going to do it. 22.54 to a 22.61. So that particular weight rank is extremely tight right now for this track. Still a very fast car. Definitely worth the pickup. But the Mustang is going to hold him off. The reason I've got that empty, Green Apple. He's back from Speed Shop. Let's see what he does. Johnny Lightning Mustang in lane 1 with the Mazda in lane 2. I did give old Johnny a couple test hits just to get him warmed up a little bit. And based on what I saw, yeah, the Mazda Gonzo. 22.43 to a 22.60. I'm not even going to rerun that one. So I'm going to put the Mustang down here for right now. He's probably going to climb up a little bit. I will do that off camera, and any of the other cars that we have over here in any of the other ranks. If I get them in, you'll see it. I'll show you where they land. It's going to take me a few moments to get this sorted out.
One eternity later.
All right, friends, we are back, and it was a lot of work giving all these cars a little bit of a workout, seeing if they place into the ranks, and I'm happy to report we've got 6 new cars into the display. 2 heavyweights over here with El Camino and the Richard Clayton Kensington. 3, my bad. And we got SpongeBob, the quick delivery, making it into the greater than 62 gram weight category. The Green Apple, he was running on a previous wheel working from I don't know how long ago, put him on the seamless track, and he ranked, got crapped back out, went back to Speed Shop and came back strong, sitting 3rd overall in the 51 to 62 gram weight class. Let's see who else. Batman, doing really well in the 51 to 62 gram weight category. Just over a third of the way away from the #1 spot. That was all of them that made it into that class. 41 to 50 and 51 to 62. We had a lot of cars that fit into those 2 categories. There weren't any of them that got past the Gatekeeper into that particular weight category, the Fast and Furious Corvette. However, Roadrunner was sitting right below this guy, and something happened to him. He slowed down big time. So we do have the Firebird making it into the bubble spot on the 41 to 50 gram weight class. Moving down one more to 31 to 40, we had, the Jaguar actually did really, really well, beating out that Mercury Cougar right below the Turbo Tram. And I think that's it. 6 cars in total making it into the display. These are the ones that are kicked out. Unfortunately, that guy is going to be retired along with Roadrunner. The rest of these guys will go back to Speed Shop one more time to see if we can't get a little bit more speed out of them. And that is all that I've got for you on this one. I know it's a long video. If you stayed with me this long, I appreciate you hanging out with me for a little while. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Share the video to your friends if you think they might be interested in diecast racing. Make sure you ring the bell, that way you're notified of any upcoming videos coming down the pipe. And until next time, y'all stay healthy, have fun racing.